guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a special for the end of the year. It is going to be my 2014 favorites. So I'm going to go over my favorite books that I have read this year. So the first book that I want to talk about is a graphic novel. It is one of the, I think I only read like 3 graphic novels this year, and it is Maus by Art Spiegelman. It is a kind of a Holocaust survivor story. It's kind of told kind of almost in an episodic type of way. The author is kind of interviewing, talking to his father about his experiences in the Holocaust. What I love about this is that it's not just a Holocaust survivor story. It also delves into the effects that the Holocaust had on the family after, you know, they came to the United States to make a whole new life for themselves. The relationship between the son and his father, and it's such a great book. If you guys are into graphic novels, I really recommend this. I don't recommend reading this in public though. I read this on the bus. I got so many concerned glances, and some people, they walked up to me like really concerned, like, oh, what are you reading? Oh no, it's a Holocaust survivor story, da 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 da. And then I talked to them about it and they were like, oh okay. They left like so much happier and so much relieved. So I wouldn't recommend reading this in public, but I do really love this book. It's so great. Next up is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. This is actually, I'm gonna cheat a little bit for some of these things. This, I am including all 3 books in the series companionship thing. I just absolutely love this series. The books are so fantastic. They make me feel so happy, and they're just great contemporary romance novels that I really recommend. This book is about Anna, who is forced to move to Paris for her senior year of high school. Honestly, I would love to have that problem, but yeah, my life isn't a Stephanie Perkins novel, unfortunately. She's forced to go over there, and then she kind of meets people, she falls in love, da 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 da. Next up is another series that I also want to include. It is the Heroes of Olympus series. Now, as of right now, I have only read the first 3. Rick Riordan is just such a funny writer. This is more kind of middle grade, but still, like, it's just such a great book, such a great series, and I really recommend the series if you guys have not read it. The next book isn't actually a series. This is just the book because this is the only book that I have read so far of the series. It is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I actually read this in November with Ilse from Ilse's Books. I will have her link down in the bottom bar for you guys to go check it out. I love this book. It's so great, and I want to read the next book to know what happens. Like, the world is just so fascinating, and I'm gonna admit I am not a huge fan of kind of like angel books, but this one, it's done so well, and the world is so complex, I guess, and just so different from anything that I've ever read, and I really like this. I flew through this in a weekend. It was such a great book, guys. Such a great book. Next up is Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I'm currently reading the 2nd book. I still haven't finished it. This book is just so funny, and Damon is such an asshole, but he's so lovable. He's such a lovable asshole, and has so much action and sexual tension and comedy, and it's just so good. And it's about aliens. Next book is one that I am a little ashamed to admit that I only read this year. It is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I know, I feel like I definitely should have read this before, but I always heard that it was sad. I am not a fan of sad in books, even though I heard so many great things about it for so many years. Well, it wasn't that. Well, yeah, it came out like, what, 2010, 2011? Yeah, and then I heard that a movie was coming out, and I finally cracked, and I read this in the beginning of the year, I think it was. It was just so great. It was so great, and it made me cry. And then the movie finally came out, and it was so well done. It was such a fantastic adaptation, and the soundtrack for that, by the way, is still, I think, my favorite soundtrack of a movie ever. Like, I still listen to it every day, and it was just so great. Like, everything surrounding The Fault in Our Stars is just so fantastic, and I really liked it. And then this book is gonna be no surprise to any of you, I don't think. It is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. Surprise, surprise. I read it this year. I absolutely loved it. I don't have the cover to actually show you guys, but I really enjoyed this book. Selena is just such a badass. I love her. She is fantastic. She's my role model, and I can't wait to read Crown of Midnight. I think if you have watched my videos, I've raved about this book enough as it is, so I'm not gonna say much. Just that it is definitely, hands down, number 2. None of these before were numbered, but these last 2 are definitely numbered. This is my second favorite book of the year. For my favorite book of the year, this will come as no surprise to any of you, I don't think, because I've raved about this book enough. It is Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Rash. It's my favorite. It's my favorite book of the year. I loved it. I love the characters. I love the world. I love the magic in the world. It was executed beautifully, and I want to get my hands on the second book now. There is no release date for the second book. It just says expected to be released in 2015. I don't know when that could be. That could be in January. Well, it's probably not going to be in January, but it could be in January, or it could be all the way in like December 31st or something of next year. It's killing me because I want to know when it's gonna come out. I want to read the book. I want to know what happens. I want to see what happens with Mara and her life, and I was about to spoil you guys. I'm sorry, but I didn't. It's just an awesome book. Highly, highly recommend it. Everybody needs to read this book and then come back and tell me what you thought about it and if you loved it as much as I do. So those are my 8+ favorites because I did have a few series kind of incorporated in some of those. Out of all the books that I read this year, I think those are the ones that really left the biggest impression on me and that I really genuinely enjoyed and that I genuinely recommend for everybody to read. That was it for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I will see you next time. Bye guys! Today's video is going to be a haul video. Now, I know I'm technically in a book buying ban, but